I'd heard about girls that had fallen pregnant, and actually when I was in year 9 I'd heard about a girl in year 11 that had fallen pregnant, and truly I thought her life was over. And it doesn't make me feel really good now, but sort of went into judgment mode like everyone else in the school did. And so for me, like I said, in a Catholic family, this was my first boyfriend, first time, we thought we were being safe, and I found out that I was pregnant. I just felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I, had this positive test, and I remembered putting the lid on it. I put it into my surf bag, went out and saw Dave, and he knew because I was crying. I just couldn't even talk that, what the result was. And he just put his arm around me and sort of shuffled my hair and said, "It's your body and it's your decision." And then the next minute we're at Wendy's working, and I'm making Winky Dink ice cream cones and handing them to a child. And the next I'm looking at him thinking, oh my goodness, he could be a father. Probably the best way I can describe it is I wanted yesterday back. This thing that had happened to me was way too big than I could ever comprehend in my 16-year-old brain, and the ramifications of telling mum and dad and Dave's mum and dad were just absolutely petrifying. My dad knew something was up with me. He came into my bedroom, he didn't sit down. He had this grey complexion, and he, just looked at me and in a grated tone said, "Sweet, what's the matter?" Not like my mum, I couldn't look at my dad. I knew that if I was looking at my dad that he would know what I'd done with a boy. This was way too big. And so I just looked at the ground and said it quicker than I thought I ever could, and hoped he didn't hear it, and just said, Dave and I had sex, now I'm pregnant. Then literally the next thing we heard was the bedroom door slam, hallway door slam, front door slam, and then we heard this almighty scream in the middle of the main road of the street of where we lived. My 16-year-old daughter's had sex and now she's pregnant. I still can't believe he actually did that. I'd heard about these girls, and here it was me. And how I was even going to begin to tell people, I didn't know at all, and I kept it very much to myself. I did go when everyone seemed to be angry. Mum was sick, and my boyfriend's mum and dad, they were really upset. I didn't know what to do, and I was just looking at everyone thinking, my decisions have caused this devastation. And I remember telling my boyfriend's parents, it was like walking into a funeral. Everyone was crying, and I felt the heaviness of this. And I knew I needed to speak to someone because I had no hope at that point. And that person was a teacher called Mr. Shiel. And today I still don't know why I went in to see Mr. Shiel. At the time, at 16, I thought he was this grumpy 120-year-old man that had a comb over and really strict. But for some reason, I had this gut intuition, and that was to go and knock on his door. And so he had me come in and said to me, "Bernadette, what's the matter?" And I told him I'd met a boy from a state school, and everything that had happened, and I was pregnant. And he just stopped the conversation, and he just took my hands and stared at me and literally eyeballed me and just said, "Bernadette Kennedy," which is my maiden name, "the journey might be different now, but the destination can stay the same." At that point, honestly, I was like, you're not screaming this out to the rest of the school. You're not crying. You're not sick. And then he said it to me again, "The journey might be different now, but the destination can stay the same." And truly, without those words, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. When they placed him in my arms, I looked at him and, besides thinking that he didn't look like the babies on the TV ads, I just thought to myself, I want him to have the gift of the teenage life that I am actually giving up for him right now. And it felt quite amazing. I did fall in love to an extent, but the feeling of my responsibility that I had to care for him, that this was my job, was something that I was never prepared for. You know, the journey will be different, but the destination, meaning what you wanted to do before you came across this unplanned pregnancy, you can still get there. It'll be different to how you planned it. The other thing that I would say is that get people around you. You know, your real friends, they don't tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear. I had some friends that were incredibly honest with me at very difficult times when I was breaking up with Dame's dad, and they were able to tell me the things that actually would shape my life. And so if you don't have friends in your life that are telling you good things for your future, then really find people and bring them in, or just find one safe place, one Mr. Shield, one person outside of your immediate environment that can take you towards where you know that you can go.